you're ready, you can come up to the board if you want.
I can use
Concrete.
I can use concrete objects to represent and compare data using bar graphs.
Thank you. So, Kayla, can you repeat what Robert just said for today's objective? And I want everyone to repeat. Mirror.
Mirror.
I can use concrete objects to represent and compare data using bar graphs. Mirrors down. So basically, what is that? What is the objective asking us to do? If you were to go home and your mom asked you what you did today in Miss Blanford's class, what would you basically tell your mom?
I play with M&M's today.
Mama, Makai? Thank you. How to count M&M's. So you see it say concrete objects. So what's objects? What's the objects in front of you that Ms. Blanford just gave you? M&M's. So you're going to use concrete objects, which is the M&M's, to represent data. What's going to be the data with the M&M's? What can we do with the M&M's that Ms. Blanford gave you? Roger. We can make a graph. How can we make a graph with these M&Ms? What's so special about these M&Ms that we can do that make a graph? McKaylee.
That they are different colors and sizes.
They're different colors. So we can use the different colors and make the graph. Do everyone have M&Ms?
Yeah.
All right. So everyone have a piece of paper in front of them. Number one, it says what? What is the first rule that we do not do? What does it say to do, Deanna?
Do not open your bag yet. That's how many of the candies are in your bag.
Okay, that's your first one. I want everyone to do that right now. And I'm going to give Mr. David his, write it down on paper. I'm going to give Mr. David his paper.
She said don't count. Count. Count it.
So you guess it. Do not count. You just guessing. You're not supposed to count. You're supposed to just guess. Write your paper on, write your number on your paper.
I caught 20. Stop that count out.
And if you can see, boys and girls, Mr. David wrote his guess on the board. Everyone look at the board. Girls, let's look at the second directions. It says open your bag and count the candies and tell me how many. So that's what you should be doing right now. Opening your bag of M&Ms and telling me how many do you have. Please count to yourself. Thank you, Roger.
Oh, I was too low. I just had 2 more to go. That's it.
Alright, now I ask you how far off was your guess? Did you have, for you to figure out how far off your guess? Everybody star board. Star 51. And when he counted it, he found out that it was 51. So how far off was he from his explanation, from his prediction?
So then you got to add that.
You got to add this. So if we add these two, then he has, so if he add 21 plus 51, so that means he has 72.
That means it was done.
Does he have 72?
No.
No. How far off is Mr. Davis? So what do? We don't add, we need to do what?
Subtract.
Subtract. So if we subtract,
It said image to word. Yeah, it said something like that.
so we have technical difficulties, but you subtract 51 from 21 and you get 30. So he was off by 30 points.
Whoa.
So that's what you need to do with your see if you how many points you was off. You was off 2 points.
I was off by 5 points.
You was off by 5 points.
How many do you have? 49. I said 49. Oh, I said the same.
All right, let's look at number 4. Now put your pen into sets by colors. So now separate by colors. Separated by colors.
I've been doing it. I've been doing mine.
Just finish your paper on collecting the amount of M&Ms. And you should already finish question number 6 by showing the relationship between the sets. Orange versus red, red versus yellow, yellow versus brown, and blue and green. And after that, they ask you to add your problems up. Turn the back to the candy graph. Turn to the back to your candy graph. Raise your hand if you have the most amount of red. You have a lot of red. If in your bag you have a lot of red, you have the most amount of red. You did, Alan? Okay, so, and Roger. All right, put your hands down. Raise your hand if you have the most amount of yellow. Okay, so yellow is not the most popular color. Green. Raise your hand if you got the most amount of green. You have this. How many green do you have? How many green?
8.
How many red do you have?
8.
Oh, okay. Raise your hand if you had the most amount of orange. Ooh, so orange was really dominating all the colors. Okay? Raise your hand if you had the most amount of blue. And then raise your hand if you had the most amount of brown.
Brown is not that popular.
Brown is not that popular, correct. But everybody, let's look at Mr. Davis' graph. Is this a pie chart?
No, a line.
It's a line graph?
It's a picture graph, but with words that tell you with different types.
Well, do you see pictures on here?
No.
So it's not a picture graph. It's not. It can be
It's a color graph.
It's not vertical. It's horizontal. Horizontal bar graph. It's still a bar graph, but it's just horizontal as opposed to what you guys have, which is a vertical. So this is horizontal bar graph. You see here brown. How many brown M&Ms does Mr. David have in his bag?
8.
How many blue M&Ms does Mr. David have in his bag?
14.
Green.
2.
Red.
4.
Yellow.
9.
And orange.
14.
So, Mr. David have, what is the least amount of color of M&Ms do Mr. David have in his bag? Eric. Green. You say green because of why?
Because all the other ones, they have 8 and more than that. Green, that's
Correct. You like to add more?
And not only that, you can see the line because the green is the small. It's small. Like it's like so like according to the height.
Okay, according to the height, so yes, it's small. So want to change it to a line graph, or if, let's say he said, I want to do a pictograph of M&M's. Look.
Oh. Can I see the one with the cones? Can we see the one with the cones?
That's hard.
No, the numbers is under it.
You spoke.
So it's not really hard because the numbers is under it. Like you can see that though.
Silence.
But you can
Silence. You'll see right here. This is kind of hard to represent because instead of it saying what color, it's saying numbers. And you have to say that that orange represents number 1. Or he could have put orange, yellow, red. And remember, what's missing from this graph? All graphs need what?
a
Title. So what should he title his graph?
My color.
I'm going to go with someone who had his hand quiet. A circle graph? But what? A circle graph for what? Cats? My M&M graph of how many M&Ms I have in the bag. So now when you eat candy, M&Ms, you'll be able to see that sometimes you get a assorted amount of different colors. And it depends. You may get a whole bunch of blue, you may get a whole bunch of orange, you may get a whole bunch of red, green, or yellow.
Or maybe get lost.
Yes.
Whoa. That's a donut graph.
That's a donut graph.
Can we see a cone graph?
Just finished our bar graph with the M&Ms, and now we are going to take a formative assessment based on everything that we've been working on for the past 2-3 weeks on bar graphs. So everyone has their active votes. You're going to choose the correct answer. You're not going to call out, and you are going to be happy with your answer. And we're going to go over it at the end. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So which bar graph? Number 1. Below is a bar graph. True or false? Please put the answer in. Remember we talked about being patient. Once you are finished, please place your active vote in your lap so we know it's time to move on to the second question. Is that a bar graph, true or false?
Don't forget to hit enter once you're done.
Next question. Below is a bar graph, true or false?
Thank you, Alan, for finishing and putting your lap. We're just waiting on 2 more people to push enter.
Number 3. Below is a bar graph, true or false? Please put your answer in.
Is this a bar graph, true or false? Is this a bar graph, true or false? Raise your hand if you need more time.
And number 4, which bar graph correctly displays the data below? Now, boys and girls, you will have to look at the data, the shoe size, and the number of people, and figure out if it's A or B. Answer choice A or B.